Notion's new dashboard view has just launched for business and enterprise plan users. The dashboard view can now allow you to pull from various databases, create widgets, and display information in one single dashboard. In this video, I'll go over everything you need to know to get started. Like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you find this helpful. Let's dive right in. To get started, let's go over how to create a new dashboard. So to create a new dashboard, you do need to have some kind of data source. So I recommend having for example, task database, project database. Make sure to have some databases that you want to display first before you start using the dashboard feature. Once you have some databases, you can go ahead and type /dashboard view. That's going to allow you to get started. And then you can click plus new view, and basically all of your views become like widgets. So for example, if I want to display my task database, I can just click here and use any of the views that I already have on my task database. So for example, if I wanted to see my high priority but not done tasks, I can display that in my dashboard like this. And what's really cool is that now I could click the plus sign here to add another widget here. And for example, I could show another view of my task database. This time I could even choose different kinds of views here too. So there's no real limitations on what view you show. You can even show a calendar if you want to show a calendar. You can show a list, gallery, feed, even map, and also the charts. So this is where it's really nice that you can just simply decide what views that you want to actually see inside of your dashboard. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and display a chart. And I'm going to click edit chart. And as an example, I wanted to showcase that we now actually have a new chart type, which is this number. And the number is great because oftentimes there has been a limitation in Notion that you cannot display a single number at the top of your page to show something that's inside of your database. So I really like this number feature. So you no longer need the donut. You can just simply have the number. You can even disable the chart title if you really only want to see the number. So in this case, if I just want to show how many tasks are due today that's not done, I can just filter this by the due date, and I can make it so that the due date is today. And I can also add another filter, make sure that the status is not done. So I'm going to do is not done. And now you can see that there's two tasks that are due today and not done. And I can even change the chart title or remove the title. And then I could put incomplete due today. I can put tasks. And I can even drag it onto the left side like this, move it around. What's cool is I can even change the color. So if you want a different color, you can do that too. If I click here with a control click, you can delete, duplicate, move, and so on, or edit the view. In this case, I'm going to duplicate this. And what I'm going to actually do with this one is that I also want to see a list of the tasks that are incomplete and due today. So I'm going to click the settings. I'm going to change the layout into a list view. And then I'm also going to add the properties that I want to see. So that's going to be the status and the owner and the category. So I can see that. And then now I can do like this. I can actually see the two tasks that are due today as well. So it's really easy to create these widgets, and you can really just move them around however you see fit, which I find useful, and choose how tall they should be and how wide they should be. I like this kind of drag and drop style. When you're done with it, you can always click done like this. And then it becomes this view where it's actually harder to edit compared to, let's say, an inline database or inline linked view that things might get accidentally adjusted. But these are locked as long as you don't click the edit button to change the settings. So this can be useful for team use cases. Next, let's go over adding multiple data sources into one dashboard. So if I click edit now, and let's say that I also want to visualize my projects in the same dashboard view, then I can do that by clicking, again, new row, and I'll choose the correct database. So this one is the projects database. And I can choose what view I want to see it. So let's say that I just want to see my projects by status like this. in this kind of timeline view over here. Then I could have something like this on the bottom. I could even add more. So let's say that I also want to see the projects, but this time I want to see the all projects not complete. So then I can also have that there as well if I want to, and so on. So there's a lot you can do with this. You can even move this over here or up here. Really customize the way that you see your dashboard in a way that previously you would have had to build it out with inline databases, inline linked views, and sometimes it just looked really cluttered, especially when you want to show many kinds of charts. A few other settings that I want to go over is that if you click the settings here, you can choose to show data source title or hide data source title, show icons in the heading. Then you can also click manage data sources to see exactly what data sources are being shown in the dashboard too. So those are the ways that you can use it. You can also lock views. The next thing I wanted to show is the global filters. You can basically, for example, choose to see only this month based on both the project due dates and the task due dates. So if I go to filter here, I can do filter multiple sources and then add a filter. And what that's going to let me do is that I could, for example, filter the timeline, which is in the projects, but then I can also add another filter, which is the task database, which also has a date property, and then I can do done. So now you can see that this is only showing this week's items in both the projects and the tasks, and I could even do this month like this to show this month's tasks and projects. So I think that this global filtering is also really interesting and a feature that you can try out. You could even create dashboards that only show, for example, the owner like this, and then you could filter multiple sources, add another owner, and both need to be Alex for it to show up here. So that's something that you could try out. So you can see that there is 3 high priority tasks for Alex, and these are the projects that Alex is responsible for, and so on. So if I change it to Sam, you can see Sam's. And if I change it to Taylor, you can see it for Taylor. So this is interesting because you can apply a filter on 2 different data sources or 2 or more data sources for the same properties and have a unique dashboard. Next, I wanted to cover some limitations and tips about this new dashboard feature. So the first limitation for the dashboard view, you can only have up to 12 widgets and up to 4 in one row. So that means that if I move this is the maximum amount that you can have in a row, and you can have up to 12 widgets. The other limitation is, of course, that this is available only for business and enterprise users, which I've mentioned in the beginning. And in terms of tips, this can slow your page down quite a bit if you don't apply the correct filters. And if you have multiple dashboards in one page, it could be slow. So I highly recommend you to utilize the filters and really show the information that's relevant. So try not to display your entire task database inside of a dashboard. Instead, have it be filtered by something specific like high priority and not done. And my other tip is that since this relies heavily also on the charts view, I would recommend checking out my charts view tutorial if you haven't watched it. So I'll also link that in the description below so you know exactly how to create charts and what's possible with that. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the new dashboard view in the comments below, and I hope to see you all in the next video.